Ever found yourself really thinking about the absolute basics, like what love actually is, or justice, or maybe even the point of it all?
Big questions for sure.
Yeah. And today we're doing a deep dive into some ancient texts that offer this really detailed, kind of surprising argument about exactly those things.
We're pulling from quite a mix. The Gospels, like John,
Yeah.
but also Genesis, Job, Isaiah, Daniel, Revelation.
And there's a specific theological commentary we're looking at, too.
Right. And the goal is really to see how these sources weave together this unique perspective on divine commands, sin, righteousness, judgment, all of it.
Our mission today, let's unpack the core arguments, the maybe surprising twists in these sources, see if we can map out this grand sort of pre-planned divine strategy they talk about.
Exactly. We're aiming to bring the ideas straight from the material to you, understand their logic, without necessarily endorsing any of you, just presenting what's there.
Okay, so this grand strategy, where does it start? The sources seem to kick off with this idea of separation.
That's right. The idea that those chosen by this divine figure are fundamentally different from the world.
And because of that difference, they're kind of destined to face opposition.
Yeah, just like the figure they follow did. It sets up this inherent tension, this conflict, but also points towards a divine purpose behind it all. You see that in John.
Okay, that makes sense. But then there's this concept, you mentioned it, divine paradox. That sounds significant.
Oh, it's central. The sources argue that this divine figure, the creator, all-powerful, could wipe everything out in an instant.
Omnipotent, yeah.
Paradoxically chose to empty himself, to become a creature,
Yeah.
vulnerable, even powerless in a sense.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot. Why do that? Seems like a huge risk.
Well, according to the commentary, it wasn't weakness. It was actually planned before creation. They literally say the cross was decided upon before creation.
Get out before anything existed.
That's the claim and the purpose, to reveal what true unconditional love looks like. And importantly, to find out who genuinely loves this divine figure back, not just out of fear, but, freely.
So this act sort of recalibrates everything, especially how we understand sin, righteousness, and judgment.
Totally. It shifts the definitions. Sin, according to John's gospel here, isn't just like breaking a rule from a list.
It's deeper.
It's fundamentally not believing in this divine figure. Specifically, not obeying the one who willingly became a creature.
Yeah.
The sources argue this vulnerability, especially when it led to fallen angels trying to kill the divine heir, fully exposed their guilt, made it undeniable.
Okay, so sin is redefined. What about righteousness?
Righteousness is presented as the victory, the divine figure's resurrection overcoming death, that's positioned as the ultimate proof.
Proof of what, exactly?
Proof that the commandments, the divine laws, are actually true and crucially keepable. And judgment follows from that.
So judgment isn't just punishment. Not just. It's the full exposure of evil Satan's malice, specifically. And it confirms the consequence, the penalty, for rejecting those commandments. It's like the truth itself judges.
Right, okay. Now, as part of this unfolding plan, the sources talk about two comforters. What's that about?
Yeah, they make a distinction. There's the first comforter, who is the divine figure who experienced life, death, resurrection.
The one who became a creature.
Exactly. Who then departed, shed blood. And then there's the second comforter,
Yeah.
identified as the Holy Spirit.
And they're connected.
Intrinsically, the departure and sacrifice of the first allows the second to come and indwell all believers directly inside their physical bodies, always present, like a constant internal connection.
Wow, okay. That internal presence. That leads us to maybe the most critical debate these texts raise, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Satan's big challenge, as presented here.
Which is?
The claim that the core divine commandments, love God, love your neighbor, are actually impossible for creatures to keep.
And if that's true, well, the sources argue it puts the divine figure in an impossible position. Makes him a false witness, maybe even a murderer, for setting up laws that inevitably lead to judgment because they can't be followed.
That's a heavy charge. How do the sources counter that?
Their counter is firm. The commandments are keepable. But, and this is key, not through human effort alone.
Okay, how then?
By divine love, they say, and by the cross. It's this divine enablement, this love demonstrated through sacrifice, that makes obedience possible, proving the divine figure is love.
And the alternative, if the
Yeah.
commandments really were impossible or just got abolished?
The texts paint a grim picture. Endless suffering, everyone just destroying each other. It would basically prove the divine figure isn't love, couldn't create a workable reality.
There's that bit about belly crawling and eating dust, too.
Yeah, an interesting interpretation from Genesis. The sources suggest that's symbolic of Satan ruling over people who are likened to dust or even worms in Hades, the underworld, constantly feeding them lies.
Bleak. So ultimately, how is it proven? How do these sources say we know the commandments can be kept?
It comes back to the nature of the divine figure, omniscient, omnipotent, love. That combination, they argue, guarantees the outcome through the new covenant. It's sealed by the divine figure's blood, activated by the indwelling second comforter.
The Holy Spirit.
Right. Empowering believers to obey, even if it means death, and ultimately to overcome death itself.
And the final proof.
It will come, the text suggests, through a specific preset number of martyr witnesses. They call them first fruits. These individuals will fully demonstrate this empowered obedience, sealing the truth of the commandments.
Okay, wow. So wrapping this up, what's the takeaway here? We've journeyed through quite a bit.
Well, this deep dive shows a really tightly constructed theological case, doesn't it? Divine love isn't just, a feeling.
It's the mechanism.
Exactly. The mechanism for justice, for exposing sin, and for making these seemingly impossible commandments achievable. It connects creation, sacrifice, vindication. It's quite a framework.
Definitely complex.
And maybe here's something to really chew on. If these sources are right, if divine love is the power source that enables us to meet the deepest moral and just demands, what does that suggest about our own perceived limits? About the real possibility for change, even when things look impossible?